I wanted to highlight this particular video that I saw on the LBC channel. It is in relation to media bias and the way that they are treating Zach Polanski. So let's go ahead and have a listen, and I will stop at various points to comment.
I think you can both recognise the bravery of officers who run towards incidents that most of us, including myself, would certainly want to run away from, and find the appropriate forum to say that no one, especially the police, should be above scrutiny.
Zach Polanski is at it again. Just days after he apologised for sharing a social media post which criticised the officers who detained the Golders Green suspect, he has reignited his feud with the boss of the Met. Polanski has now accused Sir Mark Rowley of meddling in the local elections.
You can see by the way that this is presented, he's in a feud. He's in a feud with the head of the Met Police. He's not in a feud. What he did was retweet something. What the media did was pick up on the retweet and then change the word retweet to says. And they'll say, Zach Polanski said. But he didn't say, he just did a retweet. Then we have Mark Rowley, the head of the Met Police, who then steps in and writes a letter. In the middle of an election period, he writes a letter to only one leader of one political party to criticise them.
After he issued an open letter criticising the Green Party leader and defending his officers. Let's just remember the context here. So the post Zach Polanski shared criticised the officers in Golders Green for, and I quote, repeatedly and violently kicking a mentally ill man in the head when he was already incapacitated by a taser. In his open letter responding, Sir Mark Rowley said, apprehending violent and dangerous criminals is a full contact and messy task which may appear shocking to observers with little experience of policing in the real world. The mistake Mark Rowley has made there is confusing Zach Polanski with a man who's ever lived in the real world. So
can you see by the patronising way that he talks about Polanski as if he's never someone that's ever lived in the real world? Because he's not part of their little elite dinner party Friday, Saturday night media class where they all get together. So Polanski is he's not part of their little club, if you like. So they are just trying to bring him down in the same way they brought down Corbyn. And for the same reason, when they're trying to make out that Zach Polanski is anti-Semitic, when he's a Jewish man, it's crazy. It just is so ridiculous.
Here's my question to you this hour. Has Zach Polanski's response to the Golders Green attack shown once and for all that he is unfit for office?
Yeah, I think it's perfectly legitimate that Zach had asked, well, he didn't really ask, he reposted a thing. I think in his apology, his only apology is that he retweeted in hate, and I think that was a fair thing to apologise for, but I don't think it's wrong for us to ask that we analyse police protocol and ensure that they're following through, considering they've been given such power that they can inflict on people.
It's a very weird thing, though, Alex, isn't it? To in the immediate aftermath of a suspected terrorist incident, to immediately, if your priority is criticising the police officers who were trying to protect the community in Golders Green, that's a really weird set of priorities.
Nowhere has Zach Polanski come out and said that it was a priority. He was probably sat on a car or on a train or on a bus maybe, or a plane even. And he was putting, well, obviously not a plane, she can't use the internet, but on some mode of transport perhaps, and pulled out his phone. It could have even been on the toilet. And he just decided to press retweet on something that he agreed with that somebody else said. How is that a priority?
Well, I mean, I would dispute that because even Sir Mark Rowley on his news round, which seemed a bit heavy-handed, when he spoke to Sky News, they asked him if kicking a suspect in the head that has a knife is reasonable or usual, and he said it's unusual.
It's unusual.
So
and I'll tell you what, in most other countries, though, Alex, the debate would not be on kicking a suspect. It would be on whether the suspect was even alive or not. In most other countries, a terrorist suspect in an incident such as this may well be dead already.
I mean, there is no way to confirm this is this hyperbole, if you like. Well, in all these other countries, they're all into this. They would have loved it. They would have been cheering. They would have written sonnets and operas and fantastic songs all about how great the police were in this particular incident. But Zach Polanski, oh my God, he's so evil. He's like the child catcher in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, going out there and stealing votes.
No, I understand that, but the fact that even the chief of police there has written out this open letter, do you not think the fact that they've said that it's unusual is a reasonable response to somebody asking, is this proportionate, is this the correct response? The fact that it's unusual, I think that's perfectly legitimate, and I don't think it's really pushing the needle to really say that our police are operating, because yes, the suspect had a knife, they were witnessed to have done these crimes, but we can't relegate proportionality based on the act. It has to be based on the process, because this time it was this suspect that was eyewitness, but the next time it could be a suspect that is closer to home that didn't do this, and they get the same proportionality, and then the police will use this as a way to justify uncaused action. Like, that's really it. I don't think Zach's really said anything in that regard that's too offensive.
I think the timing of his intervention is entirely misplaced. I think it shows a complete lack of understanding of what it is to be a police officer dealing with a suspected terrorist incident. I think it is tone deaf.
I think Mark Rowley intervening in this time shows he has no idea of how it works in politics. And in fact, he himself then is tone deaf. Can you see how we can twist this around? And the reality is, of course, Mark Rowley obviously has a bias. He's certainly not a Green, so he wanted to make sure that the Greens would not get into power by writing his silly little note. Mark Rowley is leading the Met Police. Why is he not taking time doing his job? Is his priority at this point writing a letter about an MP he's probably never met, about a tweet? I mean, are we in the upside down? Is this crazy land? He retweeted somebody else's tweet, and the head of the Met Police, in the middle of a terrorist investigation, decided to take time out of his day to write a long letter that he would get printed to the leader of the Green Party, Zach Polanski. Hello?
And it just staggers me that he made the intervention. He rightly apologised, but now it appears he's doubling down. My best mate, Charlie, was for many years a PC in the Metropolitan Police. And he is a man who has first-hand experience of policing a terrorist incident.
See, what he's doing now is trying to familiarise you, bring you into the family. My friend Charlie may exist, of course. He might have a friend called Charlie. He might, of course, as his job as a journalist, at some point interviewed somebody called Charlie who happened to be there, and now they're friends. So my friend Charlie, he's bringing us in. Oh, but what about poor Charlie? Zach, why did you do this to Charlie? Zach, do you not care about Charlie? Oh no, Charlie. Oh, Charlie bit my finger.
His beat was Southwark, and he was on duty the night of the London Bridge attack in 2017. And I remember it well because I remember getting the news alert about it and thinking, oh my God, is Charlie going to be policing that? Is he going to be okay? And he was policing it. Thankfully, he was okay, but for the grace of God. He had the attackers running at him, brandishing their weapons. He had one of the victims dying in his arms. It was a horrendous ordeal.
And nothing whatsoever to do with Zach Polanski. Absolutely nothing to do. This is irrelevant. This is about a totally different incident, a totally different time. They're trying to draw Zach Polanski into his retweet. It's not a criticism, just a retweet. Pull him in so that he's a terrorist sympathiser now. So Zach Polanski, the Jewish man, is anti-Semitic now. He's a terrorist sympathiser now. All these things that the right want us to believe about Zach Polanski. With this, I mean, kudos to this Charlie fella, whoever he is. Okay. What's this got to do with it? It's got nothing to do with any of it.
I know from listening to him what it is to police a terrorist incident. And this is a suspected terrorist incident. For a man like Zach Polanski to start criticising officers in the Metropolitan Police for the way they responded in the moment, and to instantly start talking about, well, he's a man with, a mentally ill man, immediately affording him somehow victim status, this suspect, victim
They didn't talk about him at all. It was a retweet.
status. I mean, honestly, it is unbelievable. And for me, it is disqualifying.
It was a
And,
retweet.
Zach Polanski also is the leader of a party that has faced allegations of anti-Semitism at some of its activists and candidates.
And here we go, throwing some mud, see how it sticks. Well, we got rid of Corbyn with the anti-Semitism thing. And, this guy's Jewish, so it's going to be a little bit harder to stick it. Well, how about let's call him a terrorist sympathiser? We could do that, couldn't we? If he retweets and does anything, call him a terrorist sympathiser. Yeah, that is fantastic. And then we could start talking about the anti-Semitism in the Green Party on top of that. There is anti-Semitism, let me tell you, everywhere in society. And it's not just in the Green Party. It wasn't just in Labour. It's in the Conservatives. It's in the Reform Party. Look at Farage himself.
And I think given all of that, for the most noted thing that you have said in the wake of the Gold is Green incident, to be a denunciation of the tactics used by the police, reveals a lot. Reveals a hell of a lot.
Actually, it's revealed nothing, because all he did was retweet. He did a retweet. A really quick retweet. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's quite interesting. Retweet. Next on my timeline. Oh, like, retweet, like.
About where your priorities lie.
Again, not a priority. Just a retweet. It's just a retweet, you bonehead.
And I just think this has to be the moment, surely, where we go, Zach Polanski, mate, you've had your fun. And, you talked about banning horse racing and everyone kind of, laughed along and gone, well, you can excuse that kind of left-wing quackery. And he talked about increasing the size of women's breasts through hypnotherapy. And we thought, well, he's one of those kind of, eccentrics or whatever. We can put up with that. We cannot put up with this.
So that's all they've got. They've got a retweet and the fact that Zach Polanski, as a jobbing actor, took a job from The Sun to pay the rent and just went along with whatever they were doing because it was a bit of a laugh. So we've got those two things. So forget Nigel Farage. He just took 27 million. I mean, it's nothing, is there? 27 million. Oh, forget it. Forget the 27 million he's taken. Keir Starmer, a couple of seats, that sort of thing. Don't worry about it. West Street in. Oh, Palantir are running the NHS. But no, we have to go after Zach Polanski with his retweet. That's right. His retweet. Oh, my Lord. It's a retweet. What are we going to do? We will have to... we need to man the barricades now, I think, probably. I'm going to go in the back garden now and start digging my shelter, because obviously this retweet is going to bring down the entire world at some point, no doubt. You would think it, wouldn't you? This is the bias of the media in this country, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it sickens me. It just sickens me, because you will never, ever, ever hear anything that is not from the point of view of whoever owns the station that you're watching. And in the case of the BBC, who owns that station? It's not the public, is it? It's whoever's in government. So whoever's in government tells the BBC which stance they need to take on a lot of things. And then you have the privately owned ones, you have the Rothschilds, and you have Murdoch, and you have whatever. It's those in power. They own the means of production. And this is the means of production. Anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. Take care.